some sort of crazy fantasy for $200.
Sorry.
And it's the door's shut and it's hot and it's getting gross in the room. No big deal, whatever, that's kind of weird. But what's weirder is that they came back like a couple weeks later and they had taken a picture of the butterfly on her vagina and wanted the picture of the butterfly on her vagina as a tramp stamp now. I assume so that while the husband and the boyfriend are with her, they both get to see the same thing.
Okay, so I knew this guy, and he was real weird, and I always thought that he was really weird, but I just thought he was like he's safe, and like he's not creepy, he's creepy, but so he comes into the tattoo shop, and
see, that's what I wanted next on my neck.
I guess, like, known to be satanic.
Yeah, my boyfriend would love that.
What's the Ludican bee?
Because he had tattoos himself, and I had tattooed myself.
She's like, she carries around jewels and stuff, because she's like super like in tune, like spiritually, so she gives me like this little rock or something like that. She's like, put this in your pocket, and I don't get like red blotches and nothing. I don't get hives. I got hives everywhere. I'm starting to break a sweat. I'm like, what? I've never tattooed a satanic symbol. I've only tattooed I haven't even tattooed a teardrop on somebody's face. I lay the stencil, and I have this big mirror in like my booth, and he does he gets it on his wrist, and he does this. He brings out his arms, and he like looks at the mirror, and he's like doing his little like praying thing. And
what's wrong with her satanic on your tattoo? Jeez, I would have that.
Shaking, pouring ink in my little ink caps and shit. So while I'm doing his tattoo, he's like looking at me, and he goes, "I like your feet." Long story short, he gets done. He backs me up into a corner and says that he could smell my soul, and then he leaves.
So, I guess shortly after she tattooed him, my coworker was tattooing the guy, and word got around the shop that he was a Satanist and all that, like heavy, summoning spirits and shit like that in his apartment. So he always brought like this little girlfriend along with her all the time. She seemed like really sweet and nice. And every time I would like look in there to where my coworker was tattooing the guy, his girlfriend would just look at me like, help me, help me. 2 days later, he ended up shooting her to death in the front yard, and all kinds of crazy shit happened.
Yeah, so in
that's messed up.
My shop is at, we found out like same day, and he they were in a fight, and he shot her in the head, and then shot himself, and then they go into his house, and it's nothing but weird, they're all black rooms except for one room, which was her kids' room, and there was dead animals in the back, and there's all kinds of weird satanic symbols on the walls. So he was legit. Yeah.
Damn. Alright, guys. I'm gonna have to put this together so I not make this video short. Okay, this one is
my craziest client story. Craziest client story.
Every time this question gets asked, I always win. No, I don't know, bro. I think I got you.
My craziest client story? Did I tell you downstairs what the client did to me? My client grabbed my boob last week. That was crazy. Also, I was really pissed off at one of my clients for not showing up to his appointment, and here he was murdered. Does that count?
Okay, you go first. No, you go. No, you go first. No, you go first. You said you go. No, you go first. Well, when I was at the street shop that I first started at, I worked there for 2 years. I had this one customer. He was like, "Yeah, you do this." And he was very upfront. And he asked to get a life-size woman on his back, so her hips blended in with his hips, so that his ass looked like her ass. And then, so I did this tattoo in 4 sessions, and then on the last session he asked if I could tattoo a vagina on his gooch. so that when you bent over, it looked like there was a pussy there. I was on Christopher Street in Manhattan. Dude named Leroy, I never forget his name, man. Came in and his boyfriend was sitting outside and he wanted to get a tattoo. I'm like, okay, cool, you know what I'm saying? So he walks to the shop, big dude, though. He's like, yeah, I want to get a tattoo, you know. I'm like, okay, you know, whatever. His boyfriend comes in and he straight sound like, how you doing? I want to get a tattoo. I want to do a target on my asshole. Like, what? So I ended up doing it, you know what I'm saying? I did, like, at the time, I had no choice.
I didn't do mine.
So I did it, and dude, like, sitting in the chair, holding his own butt cheeks open, tattooing his shit, and, yo, he farted, and took a dump, dude, passed out, and that just tore my whole world up, dude. Like, that was, like, the worst experience I've ever had in my life. It took it. Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude.
So a few years ago, I was in Long Island tattooing
You're so.
Snyder.
Oh my gosh.
And, you know,
And I get tattooed, I don't do that.
You know, house calls for very important people to me, very special people to me. Deanna's family are very special to me. And so whenever I tattoo them, I go to their house on Long Island and stay for a few days, you know. So it was the first time I was tattooing Dee. And, you know, family and real life and everything is going on the sidelines outside of the room that he's going to be tattooed in. So we take these little breaks intermittently, you know, so we can go and check on everything, check on dinner, you know, check on the family stuff. This one time he took a break and he was gone for probably about 20 minutes and I couldn't figure out what he was doing. And I stand up in the room and I'm looking around and I look out the window and he's laying on the ground, in the grass, in the dirt, underneath the grill, changing the propane hookup with his open, fresh tattoo rolling around in the dirt, like doing mechanic stuff. And I was just like, oh my god, this is literally like an advertisement for like what not to do.
What?
Like, I couldn't believe it was happening. How's that? Better than the murder story?
And like, I feel like the craziest stories are like really.
That you're not supposed to do when you tattoo.
I feel like you should involve like
Nothing at all.
My did.
My craziest client story.
Cause I had 6 tattoos right now, and I would.
On his private area where his nose was, you know, his male member. When he first told me the idea, I was kind of skeptical about it, and then I thought, hey, you know what? I'm a professional. This would make a great portfolio piece, and I'm very happy that he didn't lie while I was tattooing him.
I tattooed the tip of I tattooed the tip of some guy's penis. Yeah, I tattooed a spider on the tip of some guy's penis. It was a bad experience for everyone involved.
I remember I was tattooing this guy, and it was very noticeable that he had a semi. And basically, when I was trying to tattoo his chest, I was looking over to him, and he was just staring into my eyes, and I felt like he was just like breathing on me. And it was like this weird, intimate thing that I couldn't stop because I had a tattoo close to his neck, you know, and I couldn't just like keep him. I couldn't get his face away from me, and everybody just came up to me afterwards, making fun of what they saw, and it was pretty horrifying.
I know tattooing is painful. Tattooing is painful, and getting tattooed is painful. I mean, not tattooing isn't so painful, but for being a client, it's painful. And I had a guy once who came in with a ball gag just for the pain, and he was like, he sounded like a bear mounting like a tractor with the ball gag. So that was kind of crazy. It'd be cool if a client walked in and you handed them the ball gag, and you're like, ready? You'll need this. Okay, well, if we're talking Ink Master, the craziest client story I have. It's not so much crazy because I tattoo maniacs all the friggin' time. If you think about how many people wanting to get tattooed, they're all insane. We have to go through insane shit just to get tattooed. But one time I was doing my show Ink Master Angels, and the theme was suicide. And we had these 2 canvases that we didn't have prepared until last minute. These 2 people came in and were worried if we could even film the next day.
these two random people come in with a face-off tattoo and look at each other. One of the artists recognized the mother of the child she lost, and that tattooer tattooed her son, which was insane. We were looking at each other like, this did not happen. He picked the skulls to see which one was going to be his, and that one was his. That was his canvas.
I would say my weirdest client experience didn't actually come from my client. It came from a situation
Yeah.
surrounding them.
I don't want that tattoo of suicide.
Been tattooing for maybe
I'm
a
not
year, if that.
suicidal.
And it was pretty late night. This shop stayed open super late, so that after the bars closed, people would roll in, get a lot of weird little tattoos at night. So it was around that time, maybe midnight, and I was giving a guy his first tattoo. This 18-year-old kid, super nice guy, and his friends were in the shop hanging
Oh,
out.
speak
I think
of
they were getting
tattoos.
tattoos as well. And
I planning
it's
to,
late at night, the shop's closed, right? It's not open.
like I said before, I'm planning to get sleeve on my this one, so it will finish. This is gonna be
Looked over and I saw the owner of my shop come over and open the door, open it, and all of a sudden
waterfall
a
with.
SWAT team bursts in the fucking shop. I'm talking like people dressed in
It's
black.
gonna be
now,
like a
weapons,
jungle
like SWAT all over them. It is
Cause now I have lilies and butterflies, so I wanted like the waterfall with the jungle on it. Oh, that's just gonna be a garden like a fairies lake.
They're not
Ooh.
talking to me. They're talking to the kid. They're like, "What's your fucking name?" They didn't say fucking. It just is embellished from my mind. What's your name? Like, what is your name? And he would go, oh, and I don't remember. He said it, whatever it was, Eric or whatever. And he was like shitting his pants. And I was too, but I was like, whoa, what the fuck is happening?
So I'm trying like to finish on my right side first, and then I'm gonna go on my left side.
Finally, they're like, all right, place is clear. And we're just like, okay, what's happening? And they're like, well, apparently this guy had been doing a robbery spree all week in the area. And earlier that night, there was a shootout, and he killed a police officer and then sped off. Well, that vehicle was parked in our parking lot, so they assumed we were harboring him. And we weren't. He just happened to park it there. But they thought he would come back to get the vehicle and refused to let us leave the shop. And we had to sit in there and wait with them during their stakeout until about 6 o'clock in the morning. He didn't show up. That's when they gave up and took his vehicle away and said, hey, sorry about that. Bye. And, yeah. I will never fucking forget that. And I'm sure that kid will literally never forget his first tattoo experience.
Oh man, like crazy ones. It's always a clear first one. Like I was doing a stencil 2 years into tattooing. I'm finally moving into sleeves and have my whole sleeve. Find out this guy is a Japanese sleeve piece. And I'm stenciling him, and I kept re-stenciling over and over again. I think it was his first tattoo. So I stenciled him a couple times. I look at his friend's looking at him. And I look up, and the guy's green looking at me like it was just the nervousness of me taking a while to do it. I almost puked on me. I moved back just in time.
I did my boyfriend come home from work, and I had to talk to him while I talk. My phone will die soon. Ah, yeah.
He actually came back to finish this. He's not the worst line, that's the worst story. It's a good line. I would say this, that this was just, I can't forget is, I just started the outline and, it was talked about I want to find a suit. And we do all the design, put up everything. So about 6 hours, we did the job. And I started.
I can't hold still, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that probably that's a lot.
I had this girl, I was tattooing her back, and she didn't want to eat, or she didn't want to break. So she wanted to just try and get it done. After like 4 or 5 hours, we finished, and then she went to get up. As she got up, she was feeling dizzy, and then she kind of just face planted right into the wall, and we had it on camera because the girl didn't have a security camera. We just kept going with it, but it's probably the craziest one because she face planted and she had a big gash on wasn't funny at the time.
One guy, pretty tough.
Popo.
And after that, he smelled to me, good job, man. I'm shocked. I'm just like, I need sleep right now. Yeah. Probably the guy I'm tattooing right now, yeah, Jimmy Lewin. He got, let's see, we've done his neck, his chest, his back, 2 sleeves, brought it down onto his hand, all in less than a year.
Crazy.
See, now that's what I'm gonna try to get.
I was working in Ibiza for 2 years, so each customer
Try to get tattoo on my fingers.
I cannot remember which one was the worst and crazy. But I remember once when I was in the guest book,
But
and I was tattooing her like for 14 hours.
I had to ask my boyfriend name about that first.
She did like a normal. She did like in the spot, no?
See, he don't mind I had tattoos, but
Tattoo the girl and
I'm gonna have to ask him if it's okay I have tattoo on my fingers.
She was schizophrenic, and she was looking at me like every time I touched her head like this. She wanted to look at my face, so it took like 8 hours to do one thing I could do in 3 hours, but it was a super strange situation. And then she suddenly disappeared in the end of the tattoo. Didn't say anything, didn't pay. And the other day she appeared at the shop and saying sorry, but she had this problem, health problem, and she was schizophrenic. Yeah, it was crazy.
I had this guy, he was like a Wall Street guy, kind of like an American Psycho type, and he wanted some like California state line with like a mini golden bridge inside it on his rib. And he was really neurotic, really anal, and he was just like telling me like how to do my job pretty much. And then I did it, and he was really happy with it, and he left it, and came back, was like this time he was like freaking out about it. Yeah, it was intense.
I didn't tattoo this guy personally. I was supposed to, but maybe about 10 years ago, this guy walked into a shop, and he said, I hate my mom on my forehead. And I said, why would you want that? And he said, because I hate my fucking mom. And I said, okay, that's crazy. Come back
Wow,
tomorrow,
dude.
I'll hook you up. And sure enough, he comes back the next day, he comes back tomorrow, and I'm busy tattooing somebody. I thought he was not serious at all, so I'm like, listen, guy, if you come back tomorrow, I'll tattoo you tomorrow. So he comes back the 3rd day. By the time I get in the shop, my buddy's got him in the chair tattooing his head. I hate my mom. So,
That's messed
pretty
up.
wild. That's one of the crazy ones.
I did a tattoo of a unicorn fucking a rainbow. And that, it was cool. The guy was super cool, you know, but it was just a
Yeah,
weird
see, I don't
tattoo.
want it to get tattooed on my face. I take it I had tattoos on my arm,
Dog style on the rainbow, yeah.
Like
on my sides, and my legs,
Really random.
my thighs, and my neck,
An American eagle with an
my
American
chest,
flag, but he wanted the flag yellow.
and I'm on my foot, and my fingers.
But it's still got stripes. It's just like a banana flag eagle thing.
Everyone I tattoo is crazy. We all kind of get along because of that. You want the head in the trunk story? Okay. I was at a convention back in, I would say it was early 90s. 92, 93 maybe. And I'm tattooing in my hotel room. I was working on The Undertaker, the wrestler, actually. And I worked up in my room, so no one would bother. My manager came up from the convention floor saying there were some metalhead kids here dying to meet me, and they had this special gift for me. And so they brought him upstairs to the room, and they said, yeah, we got a head for you. I'm like, a head? Yeah, we were partying in a cemetery the other night, and there was, after a rain, and there was a mudslide, and we found a head in the mud, and we thought you should have it. And I said, oh, cool, let's go get it, you know, it's in the trunk of the car. And The Undertaker was kind of freaked out by the whole thing, so he didn't come along. But
Oh,
I went downstairs because, you know, weird and disturbed, and why wouldn't I? So they brought me to the car, and they opened the trunk, and there's this box with a garbage bag in it. And I opened the box, and I lifted the bag up. And it's definitely feels like a head. But it also was
You these white girls.
Crack a hard-boiled egg. The skin was like hard, mushy at the same time. That's what the head was like. It was all, the skull was cracked, but it was in the ground for a while, so it was mushy too. Where do you want the rest of the skull? Okay. I ended up not taking it because it was moving, and I realized it was full of maggots. And I didn't even take it out of the bag and put it back in the box. I said, if there's anyone that would take this as a gift, it's me. But this thing is well into decay. The skull is useless. That's all you can salvage from it anyway. And the skull's useless, and it's full of maggots. And I don't clean it just for fragments of the skull. So I brought it back to the cemetery. But it was like Bill and Ted, you know, from the 80s, you know. And they're like, oh, dude, you know, we got your head. And yeah, it was the one time I didn't take a gift.
Alright guys, let me see you in my fifth one, guys. I'll see you.